All right. So I first want to welcome everybody to United Masters webinar with Birdman Zoe. My name is Ogden Payne, and today we are going to dive deep into the key elements that create a successful business empire, whether you are an artist or a company in the industry. And so, before we kind of get into our conversation, I first just want to thank you, Birdman, for being with us. And I'll go ahead and just kind of let you introduce yourself, give a little bit of background on yourself, and then we'll take it from there.
How's everybody doing? My name is Birdman Zoe. I'm from New York City, born and raised in Jamaica, Queens. I'm a music manager, music executive, a black man in America. That's me.
Incredible. So, I think in this conversation, there are really kind of three key components to building a successful entity that I want to make sure that we touch on, during our conversation, right? I think the first is really understanding how to lay the foundation for a business, whether you are an artist or a company, right? The second is really figuring out how to maintain your success for the long term. And then the third is understanding, okay, once I've maintained this success, how do I scale it, right? So we'll get into all three of those things. But I think first, as far as laying the foundation, right? When you work with an artist and you're building them from the ground up and they come to you, what are maybe some of the key things or the first few steps that you make sure to focus on with that artist, no matter what, across the board?
So that's a good question, right? A lot of people get this misconstrued. When people first get artists, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, a lot of people is not like me because I like to get personal with my clients. Like all my producers and whatever artists I ever dealt with, it always gets personal. So before we even get to the X's and O's, which is like the business part, I like to teach them how to be people, meaning how to speak to people, how to be respectful, how to react in certain situations, because those are the key things that's going to keep you in this game for a long time. For example, one time I met Busta Rhymes outside of a studio, and he said, "Hey, young brother, you know why I've been in the game so long?" And I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Because I've never been late." To me, in the beginning, it didn't make no sense. But then growing further and further in this music business, it makes a lot of sense. Like, a lot of people think, oh, I just have to have my business right, or, oh, I just have to have great music or make great beats. But it's certain personal attributes that you carry that helps your business go far along. So him telling me he's never late, when you have business meetings, you could be 5-10 minutes late. The meeting's already done. Before you even step foot into that office, and it could be a great meeting. You guys can have the best conversations. They come up with the best ideas. But that 5-10 minute wait that person had to endure, you probably already messed up the meeting. They probably think, okay, cool, this person might not be responsible, or he might not fit the task that we're looking to fit. So before we get into any plays, any business ideas, learning about contracts and certain things, let's get the personalities right. Let's become people person and learn to have respect for the people we're going to business with. Because sometimes it's not always about what you're saying or the product you bring. Sometimes people just genuinely like you and want to see you win, so they're going to help you win. And that may take a few months, a few years, but they're going to stand the course of time with you just because of your personal attributes.
Right. Okay. So you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because that kind of leads me to this next question, right? And I'm curious for you, what are some of your philosophies when it comes to doing business, right? I mean, you talk about never being late, but I'm curious, like, over time, how have you kind of, I guess, defined and refined your style of doing business, right? There are a lot of executives who might be a little bit more aggressive, maybe some are more laid back. I guess kind of understanding what is your style of doing business, and how do you kind of put that forth on a day-to-day basis?
So I'm going to answer that question twice. I'm going to answer the question in two different ways. The first one is I played basketball my whole life. Junior high school, even college, played ball my whole life. So I use basketball with the music business of how I run my business. I remember in college basketball, my Coach Jackson, right? Practice started at 3:30. If you were there at 3:20, you're in trouble. Practice starts at 3:30. If you're there at 3:20, you're in trouble. When you're on time, you're late. When you're on time, you're late. So I use that with, if I have a meeting at 3 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm already up, showered, dressed. I know the address, I have the GPS, and the car service is ready. I could be outside the building at 1 p.m. just so I know if I'm there at 3, I'm already late. Then it comes time to knowing certain things and figuring certain things out. It's like having a playbook. In college or in high school, the playbooks were 60, 80, 100 pages. That's crazy to remember. So you mean to tell me I can't remember I have a 2 p.m. meeting at Universal, or I have a 5 p.m. meeting with Elliot Grange, or I have to be somewhere to meet my lawyer at 3 o'clock? I'm not going to remember that stuff. I use all my basketball philosophies, and that's how I do and run my business. Like I'm playing basketball. And that might not work for everybody else, but it worked for me because I knew the discipline I had to have to play basketball at those high levels when I was those ages. So I use that when it comes to my entertainment.
Yeah, yeah. No, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. So, when it comes to any of the artists, that you manage, or even just the business that you run, or even with someone like Taz Taylor, for example, right? When you guys were first being introduced to each other, what did you tell him, or what do you tell your artists that you expect them to bring to the table? And then what do you tell them to expect that you'll bring to the table?
So basically with them, talent, everybody wants the most talented rapper, the most talented producer, singer, entertainer, whatever. But talent wears off. You know what doesn't wear off? Hard work and dedication. I'd rather have the San Antonio Spurs, meaning I have Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Tony Parker. They all superstars, Manu Ginobili, and great players, but they all bring it any day, any night. You don't know who's going to give you 40. As opposed to the Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, okay, cool. Those are the two guys. But the Spurs, any five is going to bring. You know why? Because all five are working hard at the same time. All five are going to bring their best effort forward. So when I met Taz, it's funny, I met Taz November 2016. I met him on Twitter. He was having an argument with another producer, but I'm not going to even talk about that. And we spoke on the phone for like 5 minutes. A lot of people know the story, but we spoke on the phone for like 5-6 hours. And he just showed me a lot of like hunger and dedication, and he really wants it. He was brand new. Like nobody really knew who he was, but he was just hungry and dedicated, and he was just so persistent, and our conversations was just so raw. We never looked back since. Like from the day we spoke on that phone in November, we've been rocking ever since. Batman and Robin, Shaq and Kobe, Michael and Pippen, whatever you want to call it. Because I seen, this guy's hungry. He might not be the best producer, might not be the best businessman, whatever, but he's hungry and he has a heart of a lion. And he's like, let's just go work. And maybe 75% of the things we said we were going to conquer, we didn't accomplish so far. 75%. And we had a long list of things. He just always worked hard, and he was always passionate. And he dropped down to 7th grade. He lived a rough life. He'll tell you. It's all over the blogs. You can Google it. So maybe that brought a fire in him to say, you know what, I want better. I need better. And you can't teach that. There's a lot of people I met in my time that are the most talented people in the world, but their work ethic sucked. But they had the most talent in the world. But they're not here right now because they didn't have the work ethic. So I'd rather take the work ethic than the talent, because you can build talent. You can't build hunger and drive. You can't build this. You can't. It's either you have it or you don't.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. So let's say you find somebody who has this hunger, they have the talent. They have both, right? So then on the organizational side, right, the structured side, how do you then keep business going, right? I mean, how do you kind of, I guess, in a sense, keep internet money organized? How do you keep yourself organized? Are there apps? Are there different features that you're using? I mean, how do you take this hunger and this raw talent and then start to kind of mold it and using, I guess, some of these different types of like tricks to the trade, I guess, to kind of build that organization or business?
You want to know something crazy? I don't even have an assistant, and everybody knows this about me. I don't use an assistant. I hardly even use a laptop sometimes. But cannot one executive, one A&R, one manager tell you Birdman never responds back. Birdman never answers the phone. Birdman's never on time to deliver. Because when you started with nothing and you're blessed with this opportunity, you have to be a fool to mess that up. Like you have to really be a fool to mess up the opportunity. I believe in God, that God has blessed me and the people around me to be a part of. To mess that up, you have to be a fool. So you have to keep going. You have to be organized. You have to be structured. You just have to do your work. Like I don't like I have OCD, so I don't like letting work oversaturate me. Like I can't see an email and not respond. I can't get a text message and not respond back to the text. I've been on this conversation since 6:59, and the meeting started at 7 p.m. I wasn't late. I didn't come on like, oh shit, my bad. Oh no, I was ready for you. You have to just be ready, and that's what's gonna keep you going. Everything else is unorganized noise. Is a bullshit. It doesn't make sense. Like the money we make in this business, the opportunity we make, the life that my son lives, is because I work hard in this shit. It can get taken tomorrow. There's somebody else who wants to be just like me, if not better than me, that's ready to take my spot. So like I said, I have to be a fool to not take advantage and do my work. The most important part of this is do your work. You can have so much fun and enjoy life, but just do the work. Don't let the emails pile up. Don't miss the phone calls. Get on those Zoom calls. Call your talent. Speak to them. Come up with plays and ideas and keep it going. It's all about the long run. Because you see, there's a lot of one-hit wonders. And then what happens? Here today, gone tomorrow. But the people who really set the pace and set the tone, they're here for a long time because they keep going and going and going, figuring out new ideas, figuring out new plays, networking, going outside, meeting people, treating people like human, not just because, oh, you're a producer, I'm a producer, let's make beats. No, that's transactional. Oh, you like sports? Oh, I like the Lakers. I like the Bulls. Let's talk about it. You like eating, I don't know, burgers and fries. Let's go get something to eat. Let's be humans. Or you have a dog? Oh, I like dogs. And that builds real relationships. And those real relationships go on and prolong careers. There's people I've met since I started with Brick Squad in 2009 and 10 that I'm still friends with. I need nothing from, but we just built that relationship and it's genuine. So when it comes time to certain situations and I pick up that phone and I call them, the phone is reciprocated and answered, and the energy is reciprocated. And it's not like, oh, he just wants a song. He wants a feature of my artist. It's like, no, oh, Bird's calling me. Hey, what up, Bird? How you doing? X, Y, yada, yada, yada. And then I tell him, I need this. Oh, it's done. No problem. Because it's real relationships. And that's one of the most key important parts of business, building real relationships that help you prolong your career and not treating people like transactions.
Yeah. Nah, that's incredible. That's incredible. Okay, so we've laid this foundation, right? Okay, let's make sure that the work ethic is there. Let's make sure that the relationships are there. Once you start to attain a certain level of success, and you start to see, okay, I built this. How do I make sure that I'm here for the long haul? I'm curious for you, in certain scenarios, right, where you may have to pivot, right? A record might not be working, or an artist relationship might not be working, right? How do you know when it's time to put more effort into something versus just pivoting and cutting your losses and moving forward?
I mean, so, like, for example, with records, right? Like, so we dropped Lemonade, and in the beginning it was a little slow, but we just believed in the song and we knew it was gonna do good. And I know Taz really like, yo, this is the record. I'm telling you, y'all, and it just happened to work. And then there's other records we dropped that it did okay. We thought it was gonna do good. So there's no real giving up because we don't control the music. The fans do. My 12-year-old son and his classmates do. Those little girls on TikTok do. The people in Middle America driving their cars, listening to the radio, they control the music. And yes, sometimes you might, okay, cool, the song's dying out. So maybe you leave it alone and you put something else out. But never, ever give up on a song because you never know what might happen years later. Look at Trevor Daniels, for example. He was signing in that money. He dropped the Fallen record. I never forget. He dropped the record maybe 2018, if I'm not mistaken. 2020, it went #1 on Top 40 radio. It was one of the biggest records during the pandemic. It's like 4 or 5 times platinum right now. They never gave up. You still build around it and still build your infrastructure, like network with your fans and get more fans and release more music and more content. But sometimes don't run away from that song because that might be the one that's going to take you to where you got to go to. So keep pushing it. Keep doing different things. Like, right, in our generation now, TikTok's the thing. Get involved with TikTok. Do challenges. Shoot a music video. Release the song on different platforms. Promote different platforms. Everybody just doesn't use Spotify. I like Apple Music. Somebody might like Pandora or Amazon or Yahoo Music or SoundCloud or YouTube, whatever. Engage in all of those platforms to get different fans, and that might be how your song gets across that platform. For example, "Fuck Love," XXX and Trippie Redd. That's the biggest song in SoundCloud history. The biggest song in SoundCloud history, and on SoundCloud it went crazy. It still went crazy on other platforms, but I just told you the record is on SoundCloud. So maybe promote it on the SoundCloud and gain those fans from that avenue. Still promote the other avenues, but don't run away from certain avenues that are working. Like, people only want to say, oh, Spotify. Everybody doesn't have a Spotify subscription. Some people only use YouTube. Like, for example, I like going to like Dominican Republic or Costa Rica and those countries, the Latin countries. They love YouTube. They don't care about Spotify. YouTube is big in those Caribbean countries, those Latin. I'm from Haiti, so in Haiti they love YouTube. A lot of people don't have money for Spotify and Apple Music. They don't even have iPhones, but they do have YouTube.com. So maybe you engage with YouTube for those fans in different countries. It's not only America. And that's the thing. And that we worked on with the Lemonade record, especially. We worked internationally. We went #1 in London. So we didn't just stick to America. There's a whole world out there that you can generate and populate your music to. So when it comes to the songs, don't give up. You never know until it's really the end of the time. You never know. Just don't give up. Keep pushing it, but also still release new music, new content, because you might release another song and that might be the song to catch, and then they go back to your old song that you're still showing, and then that blows up. So instead of having one song, now you have 2 songs.
I got you. I definitely get you. So, I'm curious too, right? Let's say you have a record.
It's water, y'all. It's water, I promise.
I think you've done an incredible job outlining everything that you've done to kind of make you a success, and the artist that you have a success. And I'm curious, at what point and what did you do in order to turn internet money into a well-known brand, right? I think there's an understanding that, okay, cool, I got good music. I know I have the talent, but now how do I become a brand? And I'm curious for you, what your experience was that.
So first of all, I'm going to say, I didn't make internet money. The collective, all of us, from me, Taz, Nick, to our partners, to our publicists, our lawyers, the A&Rs, the managers, the other producers, KC, JR Hitmaker, Farrah Vice, MJ Nichols, E True, Cody, Ryu, I'm sorry, I said Ryu, Cody, Rio, Census, OV, even people who left, we all made internet money. It's not just one person. And this is where I go back to the San Antonio Spurs. Every given night, you don't know what tentacle is going to reach the furthest to shine the light. So, for example, KC Supreme's from Utah. He produced the Fallen record with Charlie Hanson and Taz. So that shed light on us. Nick Mira, him and DT, they're like the Juice WRLD. They're like the trio with Juice WRLD. They helped him produce majority of his hit records. They found him on SoundCloud or Twitter back in the day. They came up with Juice. That shed light on us. Taz believing in the internet money and creating this collective, it shed light. JL Hitmaker doing Plug Walk and Blue Tint for Drake shed light on internet money. So it's not just one person. But I know on my part, handling the business side, being aggressive with these labels and A&Rs, making sure the contracts are done properly, making sure the producers and artists are signed, making sure they're not getting taken advantage of, making sure they're publishing it straight, making sure the lawyers are on top of their business. That's how I contributed to my part for internet money, doing the business side, being so business savvy, not letting nothing fall under the cracks. And I'm going to repeat it again, making sure all of my guys are paid, all of their contracts, all of their credits are properly credited, because all you have is your credit and your name in this business, and doing the business side to making sure they can focus on the talent side. So when it comes to this business side, it's 2 parts. It's the black and white, which is me, meaning the business, and it's the color, which is the producers and the artists who give the music and the entertainment side. Both go hand in hand. Both need each other. Without one, the other one won't really go far, because you can have the best songs in the world, but if your contracts are messed up, you're not getting credit, you're not getting paid for your work, let's just be honest, it's not going to go nowhere. But you could also have the best business aspect, but if you don't have the talent, you're just a great businessman with no talent. You're not going nowhere far. So they both go hand in hand together. So I will never sit here and say, I'm the reason internet money is internet money. No. We, all of us, from, again, artists, lawyers, managers, publicists, label partners, press partners, you name it, we are the reason why internet money is so successful. And we all help each other. We're a village, and we all come together and do what we're supposed to do. So the point guard, the shooting guard, the small forward, the power forward, the center, everybody's contributing. I don't care if I have 20 rebounds and 0 points, and Taz Taylor has 100 points, and Nick Mira has a 360 windmill highlight. As long as we win the game, the business is handled. The music is great. We can't lose.
Incredible. And so when it comes to scaling the success that you guys have built, right? Especially given what you kind of were just saying, right, about everybody is involved, within the success. I'm curious, what type of conversations do you and the team have when it comes to establishing long-term visions and goals? I mean, like, what are some of, if you could kind of bring us into some of these long-term planning meetings and what some of the words and verbiage is used, I would love to know that.
I'm gonna say this right quick. Taz might not like this when he sees it, but whatever. Taz is so militant, right? So we have like different group chats for everything, and every day Taz in California, right? So when it's 9 a.m. and I'm waking up in New York, for some strange reason, every day, Monday through Friday, I see a text message at 6:30 a.m. LA time from Taz. Hey, Bird, what we doing today? Bird, we need to do this. We need to do that. We got to tackle this. This producer's going to get signed. This artist is looking for this. Bird, we need the credit for this. Little Texas album's coming out, Bird. Make sure all the lawyers on top of this. Our next single's coming out. Make sure you're talking to this artist's lawyer. So we all have tasks that we do on a daily, and we're always on top of each other. And I'm talking about me and Taz probably talking this 24 hours in a day. We probably talk for 21 and a half hours a day, whether it's on text, Instagram DM, whether he's tweeting at me, he's calling me, he's FaceTiming me, something. We all speak to each other on a constant basis. So we have a chat room called Manager Money. When any situation, any problem, you bring it to that chat room and it gets fixed. It doesn't get fixed tomorrow, it gets fixed today. For example, Kid Leroy dropped 2 records last night and the credits were messed up. So 10 o'clock in the morning, we're up talking to Kid Leroy's lawyers, his A&Rs at Columbia, his management to fix the credits because we all on top of it. So one person like, yo, Bird, I need this fixed, or this is not done. Again, I'm not going to wait till tomorrow. I'm not going to bypass it. I'm going to stop what I'm doing unless it's like I'm doing something crazy important where I can't, and I'm going to attend to the situation. And that's how excuse my language. That's how our things roll and roll smooth. We're all on top of it. And that's why our business is smooth. And like I said, we have daily tasks that we're supposed to do. Everybody get on top of your job. Everybody knows we run this like military. There's no playing around. This is the mafia. This is the mob, man. There's no playing around. There's no playing around because it's business to do. It's money to make. It's business to handle. And we have a brand and a company we're trying to become the biggest and the best in the world. And that comes from hard work and dedication. And there's no time to slack. Like, we're trying to win the championship like the Bucks did. Like, we have to win the championship. And it's going to be hard. There's a lot of other good players out there, but we just got to keep going and do what we got to do.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. So, when you kind of look back on the trajectory, not only maybe of your career, but even just the artists and the producers that you worked with, right? Like, what would you say has been the best way to reinvest in yourself if you're an artist or a producer? I mean, given, again, your experiences, what is the best way to take, this success that I have and this money that I have and say, okay, where do I put this money so I can continue to grow my career?
As an executive or as an artist?
Let's do both. Let's do as an executive and as an artist.
Okay, well, as an executive, yes, you can make money, but you should probably get an office, hire or retain more lawyers, hire staff, get A&Rs, get publicists, have a whole team around you. So when certain things come in, like certain situations appear, you're ready for them. You're not scrambling, scratching your head to get them to find, okay, cool. Oh my God, I need this. I should have had this. Build your team. Like, yes, go buy jewelry if that's what you'd like to do. Buy a house, buy cars, invest in stocks and real estate. That's all great things. And also live your life, have fun, and pay your bills. But also take some of that money and reinvest it because it's only going to help your career get better. So, for example, I want to say 3 years ago, my business manager, he said, Bird, it's time for you to get an office. I said, I don't want an office, man. I don't care about an office. He said, no, get an office because it looks more professional. People come to that setting, okay, this guy's serious. It's like saying, I'm a doctor. You're not going to go to his house. You're going to go to the doctor's office. It looks more professional. So I went and got an office. Yes, I pay for it monthly, which I hate every month, but I have an office. I have a hub. I went and got A&Rs. I went and got a publicist. Shout out to Breon. I went and got certain things in certain situations to help build the company and establish it to make it a household name. And that's on the executive side. As an artist, there's a lot of things you should do. You should get your own team. Besides having a manager and having a business manager, which is very, very important, get a publicist, get an A&R, maybe have a stylist, invest in your career. If you're a rapper or a singer, go to excuse my language, go to Go to vocal classes, get vocal lessons, like fix your voice, probably build a home studio so you're just not paying money for other studios. Invest in your look, get a gym membership, get equipment. If you're a rapper, try to get the best mic or get the best softwares and have the best computers. Like, don't just get the money and bullshit. And I'm gonna give you this example, and I'm gonna give it to you. You an example. If you meet a girl tomorrow, right? She said, "Oh, let's go on a date Friday." The first thing you're gonna do Thursday is wake up, go get a haircut, maybe go find a nice outfit, go wash your car, find out the dinner reservations, get your teeth whitening, whatever you're gonna do. Why? Because you want to impress the girl Friday. Am I correct?
Right, right.
So if you're an artist, why not have that same mentality? I want to impress my fans, so I should look to par. I should dress to par. I should act to par. But a lot of artists and producers, they get money and they bullshit. They don't go invest in that publicist. They don't go invest in that, in whatever that's going to help their career get further. They think, oh, I have a manager and I made it. A manager's job is what? To manage your career. So you have to have the boat and have the map quest and be behind the wheel. The manager's job is to tap you on the shoulder every few hours, like, hey, you're falling asleep behind the wheel. Wake the fuck up. Like, hey, the gas meter's going. We need to go fill the gas. Oh, you're thirsty? Let me get you this water so you're not tired behind that wheel. But it's your job as the artist and producer to get us to that destination. That's not your label's job. That's not your manager's job. That's not your mother's job. They're just there to help you along the way. If you're getting tired, they're nudging you. If you need something to drink, they can help you get some water. But it's your job as the artist and the producer and the entertainer to get your team and yourself to that destination. And a lot of times, talent gets that misconstrued.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, my last question for you is,
We can go all night, man.
yeah, no, look, man, I feel the energy. You know, I think, you know, you, like I said earlier, you have outlined an incredible blueprint, right, to taking your career from the ground level to maximizing it to its fullest extent, right? But I'm curious, once you get to the level that you're at, say right now, for example, right? How do you now take your business from where it is, which is probably where you always dreamed that it would be? How do you take it from there and scale it upwards? What does that game plan look like to kind of almost take your business from great to even better?
I would say, especially for me to speak on my personal, I think the next pivot for me will be to maybe sign the artist. Like sign the artist to myself and blow them up. Like, for example, how QC helped blow up the Migos or helped blow up the Baby. Like, to me, that's next to me. Like, I've done a great job being a manager. I've done it at the lowest level. I've done it at the highest level. Had some of the most successful records in the last 5 to 10 years, biggest records in the world. Now, my next job as the executive is to maybe find talent, sign talent to major labels, help blow them up, or find talent and sign them to myself and help blow them up. I feel like that will help me pivot and take me to that next level of being, okay, Bird's been doing his thing, to, okay, Bird is really doing his thing. And I think that that's next for me, to find an artist and blow them up. Like, my dream always been working with artists. Like, you know, I started with Brick Squad. I managed Frenchie. I managed Young Joey. I managed Little Rick from Atlanta. I managed 821, a group from Queens. I managed Baby J. Some of these artists you guys don't know about, but I've always had the passion of being involved with the artistry. But the producer business just happened to work for me. And, you know, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So I never really shadowed back into the artistry. But that was my main passion. Like, I really love that. And that's my next pivot to help me get from where I'm at now to the next level. I want to find and sign an artist either to a major label or to myself and get a situation with the label and help blow them up. And God willing, they become one of the biggest artists in the world. And I feel like that will take me to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And even for an artist as well, right? I guess they just kind of need to take on that same philosophy. If they have a certain level of success already, do they just need to kind of take a look back and say, okay, well, what are some things that I've always wanted to do in order to kind of take my career from this step to the next step? I mean, I guess kind of what is what is your advice for the artists who might have a certain level of success and say, okay, this is good, but I want to be great?
It depends on the artist, because some artists only want to do music. So maybe great is to them winning a Grammy. They probably have all the accolades of platinum and gold and double, triple, quadruple platinum. Maybe their next level of success is getting a Grammy, or maybe they want to start writing for other artists and help them blow themselves up. Or maybe they want to become executives like Taz. He doesn't care about touching the keyboards anymore. He wants to be the next Jimmy Iovine. He wants to get behind the boards and really take and build his label up and become that big imprint. 20 years from now, they're doing a documentary on Taz Taylor, like how they do on Jimmy Iovine. Or maybe an artist wants to be like Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti still makes music. He's still dope, but now he's more on the CEO side. He's finding talent, getting behind his talent, and blowing them up. Look what he did with 42 Doug. Look what he did with ESTG, one of the hottest artists in the streets right now. Look at Moneybagg Yo. So now all of their success comes back into Yo Gotti and helps him become now the executive or CEO. Maybe a label might call him one to say, hey, Gotti, you're good at finding talent. Would you like to be the president or the chairman or whatever title they might give him of this label? And now he took it from being Gotti the artist to Gotti the CEO to Gotti the boss. Right. And that's another way an artist can take their career to that next level. Or maybe they just want to sign talent and let the talent blow up and blow their label up. Like, it's so many different avenues. It all depends on said person. So I can't just sit here and say, all right, this is what you got to do. This is next. No, it all depends on the artist and what they want to do. Because some artists, they just want to do music. They don't care about doing nothing else. I just want to do music. I don't want to be an executive. I don't want to do nothing else. I'm content. I just want to do music. And others, like I said, like Taz and them, they want to get their own labels, get their own publishing companies, sign and blow up all the artists and producers and sit behind the boards and be the big CEO chairmans.
Right. Birdman Zoe, I appreciate you for taking this time, man. This was an incredible conversation. And I want to thank everybody, who's tuning in. Thank you all so much. Thank you to United Masters for hosting us. Birdman Zoe, if there's anything else that you want to leave us with, please feel free. But again, I just want to say thank you for your time.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for even having me. Cause I'm nobody special. I'm just a regular person, and you guys seen something in me and gave me this opportunity so people can hear me. So I appreciate that. Shout out to United Masters. One more thing before I go, and I've been doing this a lot in a lot of my interviews. Artists, producers, entertainers, executives, people, anybody in the world, get involved with stocks. I got involved the last few years, and it changed my life and changed my perspective of life. Get involved with stocks, whether it's small or big. Read about it, learn about it, try it. It's not for everyone, but try it, especially people from where we come from and our communities. Like I said, my parents are Haitian. They're from third world country. I was born and raised in Jamaica, Queens. It's not Beverly Hills. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. And we're not taught these things. Growing up, I never knew about none of this stuff. My parents didn't know about this stuff. My dad died when I was 1, so it's not something I was taught in my neighborhood. But it's something I know now, and I love speaking to the younger youth about it. Get involved with stocks, man. Like, that's all I can say about that, man. It's true. I can go on and on and on about it, but just get involved with stocks. Read about it, learn about it. Just Google something about stocks, and I promise you, in the future, you'll thank me if you ever watch this interview. That's all I have to say.
Perfect. An incredible way to finish this off. Birdman Zoe, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.